In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use invisible and overlapping geometry. That's an useful technique when you have a complex geometry, and this is a good way to make a shortcut and do things more easy. Let's start modeling a table. That's a classic situation where you have to use invisible and overlapping geometry. Let's start with our sketch of the size of the table. That can be 2 units by 1.5 units. That will be my table. Now I'm going to cut the legs of my table. That will be, let's use our tools that will be easier. I will say, let's make an inset of 0.1 units, and then I will cut the corners of my inset. That's it. Let's merge my corners. This is the result of the execution of that tool corners. The tool corners separate the corners in a inset. Now I will select my corners and make an extrusion. That will be the legs of my table. That's an amount of 1 unit. Now I have the legs on my table. Now this is where the problem starts. How can I set a surface in the top of my legs to put the table on? Okay? Now I will use first an overlapping geometry. First of all, I will the rest of the geometry, this result, I will rename it as invisible, and also the center between the legs, and this will be the result. Now I'm going to use an overlapping geometry. In the same output where I perform the 4 legs, first I'm going to add an extrusion. That will be in the amount of 1 unit. As you can see now, both operations overlaps one to the other, but now I have the surface where the table will be. I only have to rename the sides of this extrusion to invisible. Now I have the result, and I use the invisible geometry and the overlapping geometry, and the only thing that rests is make another extrusion of 0.15 units. That will be my table. Now I have a table. I have to put bottom to this extrusion to close it, and now I have a perfectly modeled table. As in any other 3D model, you can change the size and the model still working out. That's an interesting use of the overlapping and the invisible geometry. You can, in the same spot, in any part of your code, of your graph, you can, on the same output, make 2, 3, 4, or as many as you want operations, and every operation will overlap one to the other. That's all for this class. I hope that will be useful in your future 3D experience. See you in the next lesson.